Fantasy Football Week 8. Key players to consider benching. As we dive into Week 8, it's crucial to make informed start-sit decisions. Here's a look at 6 players who may struggle this week, plus some alternatives to consider. QB Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin sidelined, Mayfield faces a challenging matchup. Despite leading the league with 18 passing touchdowns and ranking among the top quarterbacks, he has struggled without his top receivers. In the past, when missing Evans and Godwin, Mayfield has averaged just 4.3 yards per attempt with a low passer rating. Expect a tough outing against a solid defense. Consider streaming options like Kirk Cousins or Caleb Williams instead. RB Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns. Chubb is back, but facing the Baltimore Ravens, one of the toughest run defenses, could hinder his performance. In his season debut, he averaged only 2.0 yards per carry. Given that the Browns are likely to be playing from behind, Chubb's opportunities may be limited. If you've waited this long to start him, it might be worth holding off another week. RB Alexander Mattison, Las Vegas Raiders. Mattison has taken on a larger role, but this week's matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs could spell trouble. Kansas City allows the fewest fantasy points to running backs, making it hard to trust Mattison as a viable starter. Avoid him in most lineups given the tough matchup and potential game script. Malik Neighbors, New York Giants. Despite being the top target for Daniel Jones, Neighbors faces a tough Pittsburgh secondary that has limited most wide receivers. With Jones struggling to produce passing yardage, expectations should be tempered for Neighbors, especially against a defense that excels at coverage. Trey McBride, Arizona Cardinals. McBride has been inconsistent this season but has the potential to be a solid play. However, facing a Miami Dolphins defense that limits tight ends could make this a tough week for him. Given the landscape of tight ends, McBride might still be worth starting, but be cautious of his boom or bust nature. Final thoughts. While every player has potential, this week's matchups and circumstances may lead to disappointing performances for these key players. Make sure to weigh your options carefully and consider other alternatives based on your roster depth. Good luck in Week 8.